Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River, it's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Grunin. A part of the show, 732-55-1160. News Talk WM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. I am Phil Brilliant, guest hosting for Jeremy this morning on Tuesday, September 13th. It is approximately 6:10, depending upon how you are listening to the show. And we are live on WOBM AM 1160, 1310, Radio Pup app, or live streaming on WOBMAM.com. Remember to join the conversation, 732-505-1160. And someone texted me and told me I have not given the weather today. So I have been corrected. It'll be a high of 80 today. I even printed it out
for you and everything.
What's that?
I even printed it out for you and everything.
And it's right in front of me, but I have not given the weather. It will be a high of 80 degrees today, a beautiful, crisp, clear day at the Jersey Shore. And we are joined this morning by somebody who's already been running around the Jersey Shore, Kathleen Tobin, an artist in our local community. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning.
Glad to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
And I say that, we're joking a little bit that, basically you forgot your cell phone, so you couldn't contact me.
In true Kat Tobin fashion, I forgot my cell phone, yes.
I'm not quite sure if I've ever forgotten my cell phone because it is a appendage of my body these days.
Same. But in a crunch, I will definitely leave it behind.
Definitely leave it behind. And it's funny, you think about it. If you don't have your cell phone, you are really not contacting anybody.
Lost. I was lost.
So as I did the lead in to 6 o'clock, I was a little nervous. I was like, do we have a guest? Don't we have a guest? And we were starting to do some additional research on stories, but I'm very glad to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know we were teasing before. I said born and raised in Toms River. You said not exactly. So
No.
Tell us about yourself, your story.
Well, I was born in the Bronx. I was raised in Middletown, New Jersey. I'm an artist from way back. It's just something I've always done. I started oil painting at 8 years old and just carried on from there. I've learned a couple of different new forms of art lately. I'm a printmaker right now, which is what I'm focusing on. I do some fun portraits of girls lately, nice and colorful. That's what you'll see if you go on any website that has my name attached. You'll see some fun stuff. But I also do portraits and many different types of art.
Bit of everything.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about oil painting, and now you're, would you say printmaking?
Printmaking. Mm-hmm.
What is printmaking?
So it's something I learned just last year, actually, through the Ocean County Artists Guild, a print club. I'm doing lino cut printing, which is you get a block of rubber and you put down your image, you carve it out, and roll some ink out and print it onto some paper.
So is it a flat surface, or does it end up being a 3D? Oh.
So it looks like this.
This is really
I know
good for
you can't
radio.
see on the radio.
Yeah, visual. We have visual art going here on the radio.
Describe
This
it
is
to
pretty
you.
cool. Yes. Oh yeah, describe it. I'm colorblind as well as probably art deficient. But this is
That
beautiful.
one's
It
black
is
and
a woman
white.
with the kitty cat on her
Yes.
on her lap there.
So you carve out your image backwards and you throw some ink down and you print it on some paper.
So could you then
forward for you?
I mean, this isn't like a stamp, it is.
It is. It's similar to a stamp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, similar to a stamp.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is very neat. And reaching that back across there. Now, so when you are coming up with ideas of what you're going to paint, okay? Now, I know I mentioned before you were in one of the Engaged Toms River contests from the Jay and Linda Grunin Foundation, and it was the Veterans one.
Correct. I actually love doing things like that. I like to have a theme to work towards. It takes a little pressure off of trying to figure out what you're going to.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, that was a beautiful painting. Now, what happens with that painting now?
Right now, it's just sitting in my living room.
How many paintings are sitting in your living room?
I couldn't even begin to tell you. My house is a gallery of my own work, and some friends that I've purchased work from.
Okay.
That painting in particular is very large, so it's literally just sitting against the wall. And I was inspired by the veterans theme because my father was a veteran, and my father always made sure we bought poppies if we ever saw veterans selling poppies. So mine was poppy inspired, but more of a father teaching kids to wear the poppy with pride.
Right, that's very nice.
Yeah. So that theme was actually pretty fun to work with.
Yeah, and looking at a lot of the different portraits and pictures, it was, I mean, no two had the same theme.
Correct.
And so there was a lot of variety there. And I remember the poppies, and I will tell you, I always end up buying a poppy. I have them on my rearview mirror.
Absolutely, all the time.
Usually end up walking back to the car, and I tie them to my rearview mirror in the car.
All the time. There's always one.
You know, so you're picking your who you're painting.
Subjects. Mm-hmm.
Subject. I've lost the word there. Do you have an idea of what you want to do?
Well,
or is it just something you like, all of a sudden you're like walking down the street and like, wham?
I outsource a lot. I'm on Facebook and I'll throw out, hey guys, give me a color hair, color eyes, a type of flower, an animal. And a lot of my friends are very good with giving me suggestions. So I'll just pick and choose some of the suggestions they gave me. And that's how I come up with, a certain color, a girl in a peacock, or somebody who's sad with a firefly.
So these aren't people. These aren't self-portraits. These aren't portraits of people. It's just people have given you ideas.
Correct.
And you're like,
and I go with it.
And you go with it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you're just strictly, I mean, now I'm a little bit amazed here. Well, I'm more amazed because I have zero artistic ability. I cannot draw a straight line with a ruler, or a straight edge, depending upon if you're an engineer or not. And so I've zero. I'm the guy who like draws the circle with the circle eyes and the circle mouth, and that was it. Can't even draw stick figures. But so really, I'm looking at these pictures, which are beautiful, of these young ladies, but there's no subject. It's strictly someone has thrown out ideas of color, hair,
exactly,
and you've drawn this.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah. This one was inspired by my daughter, who's now a college student going to school to be a nurse.
A nurse? Where is she at school?
Maybe physical therapy. And she's in Brookdale nursing program.
Very cool. What year?
Yep. She's first year. She's just first week.
Where'd you go to high school?
Second week. High school South, right here.
My daughter just graduated from North.
Oh, okay. All right.
She left me.
That's okay.
She's 10 hours away.
Oh, no. No, I would be devastated. I'm sure that's coming, but not yet.
It's there.
So she kind of is a little bit of a world traveler, and it's not so clear here because I didn't want people just to say, hey, this is her daughter.
Right.
I wanted people to see a traveler. But if you look, the little plain arrow goes to the places that she's been, which would be Ecuador, where her father's from, and Germany, which is the last trip she just took. So, so I take some inspiration from life, some inspiration from suggestions from friends. There's inspiration everywhere.
That's really cool. It's interesting. Somebody the other day showed me a picture of a friend who has a tattoo on his arm of the world.
Oh, okay.
And as he visits different places, he colors in.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And has like a airplane in the background. And so somewhat similar to that. But
if my daughter's listening, I want her to hold off on getting the world tattoo.
Yes, okay.
For a little while.
No world tattoos this week. We do have to go to break. When we come back, I want to talk about how you exhibit your paintings and how you sell them.
Okay,
because I'm sure at some point in time,
I'd love to sell something.
You'd like to sell something. So we'll be back in a moment.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin wherever you go. Download the Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Connect with Jeremy, 732-505-1160. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Good morning. Welcome back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. I am Phil Brilliant. I feel like I always have to say that so you know that it's not Jeremy, though our voices are very different. And it is 6:22 on Tuesday, September 13th, and we're continuing our conversation with Kathleen Tobin, the artist of the stars, who basically just draws out interesting information from her friends and paints some phenomenal pictures.
Thank you.
Okay. So we walk into your house, into your living room. How many pictures am I seeing all over the place?
Upwards of 30 or more. I have a tribute to paint nights dates that I've done with my daughter. We go out and do 2 paintings at a time, and they go up on the wall. And then some others are from artwork that I bought from my friends. I believe in supporting other artists.
Right.
If we all bought one of each other's things, we'd all have sold something. So
that's always good to say.
Right.
And I assume your daughter's very talented also?
She is. She doesn't focus on it, but during the weekend she uses her little creative abilities as a face painter and a clown.
Okay.
So yeah, she is.
Now, how do you go about exhibiting your artwork?
There's a few different ways. With Toms River Artist Community, we have a couple of pop-up shows throughout the year. Right now, currently, we're hanging in the library, so we have a show called Visions, hanging in the library right now. I want to say there's probably 14 artists participating this time. I also participate in the Toms River Downtown Art Stroll. We were doing that once a month. Our next one is in October 6th.
October 6th. What's that? That's at night?
At night, this one will be 4 to 7.
Okay.
October 6th, and it's on Main Street and Washington.
Okay.
And a bunch of artists set up, and all different types of art, crafts and arts to choose from for people to come out and look and buy. Buy local, buy from your local artist. Especially now, getting into a holiday season, it's time to do it.
So talk about that a little. I mean,
Sure.
Local artists.
Mm-hmm.
How do you all come together? I know there's the Ocean County Artists Guild.
Mm-hmm.
You just talked about Toms River. Mm-hmm. I mean, are we surrounded by unknown artists that we all have not seen come out yet?
We definitely are. There's Toms River Artist Community. We're kind of a small community, and the Ocean County Artists Guild, like you said, I'm a trustee on their board. And then there are artists who aren't affiliated with anybody, and they show up at the art stroll as well. There's a ton of talent here, and there's nobody reining them all together. So we're kind of just here and there. We're in pockets. There's so much here in Toms River that isn't concentrated in one place just yet. And I'd love to see, a place where it gets all different types of artists together.
We may have to hold that off to till I give you your magic wand when we get to that later. A sneak peek into your thoughts and dreams. But so, you're an artist. You're in Toms River. You're doing different shows.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said you did the Art in the Park,
correct?
Which I think this year was Art in the Parking Lot.
Correct.
I think it was called.
Yes.
But hopefully next year we'll be back in Huddy Park.
Huddy Park, yeah.
You're trying to sell your art. You're trying to market it.
Absolutely.
Are you putting it? Do you have a website? Are you putting it up on Facebook? How do people see it?
I have a Facebook page, Cat Tobin Art. I do have an Etsy shop, also Cat Tobin. There's only one thing on there right now. I have to commit a little bit more time. I've stepped down a little bit at work, so I'm going to focus a little more on my art and my future in the arts.
Right.
I want to become an art therapist. So my focus is shifting now. Now that my daughter's out of high school, I can focus a little more in my art.
So, couple years in the Bronx, Middletown. Did you see yourself as an artist and doing this on a daily basis?
Well, it wasn't. Although it was encouraged as a pastime, it wasn't really encouraged as something you can do for your future. So originally, I thought I was going to go to school and become a vet, and I did start college that way as a science major. But then I had my daughter and I went that way.
Kind of meandered in a different direction.
Now I've got her going to college in the sciences, and I'm going to refocus my efforts back into the arts.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, you have phenomenal. There's a new word, phenomenal.
It's early.
It's a little early. Phenomenal, vision and beautiful art. When we come back after the news, as I said to you, we have a couple breaks that we deal with. When we come back after the news, I want to talk a little bit more about what you're doing here in Ocean County, some upcoming events that we want to talk about, and also where we may see you exhibiting next, because we want to make sure that people get out and see you.
Great.
We'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Coming up next, the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from Town Square Towers, at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Good morning. Welcome back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. I am Phil Brilliant, guest hosting for Jeremy this morning. It is Tuesday, September 13th, 2016. It is 6:33 in the morning. We will have a high of 80 degrees today. And you remember to join the conversation at 732-505-1160. And we are continuing our conversation with Kathleen Tobin, a artist here in Toms River. and you can always find her at Kat Tobin Art on Facebook. But when we went to break, we wanted to talk a little bit about where people can find your art in the upcoming months.
Okay. So as I mentioned before, in October 6th, I'll be participating in the Toms River Downtown Art Stroll. And if anybody's other artists are interested in participating, they can find that page on Facebook, Toms River Downtown Art Stroll, and there's contact information there on that page.
Now that art stroll is just people just kind of show up on the corner of Washington and Main, and everybody's
It's
set up
organized,
down the street.
so don't just show up. Use the contact information.
I'm talking about people who want to come view.
Correct, absolutely. Yep, come walk up and down Main Street and Washington, a little bit of Washington, and there's such a variation of artists available. There's from glass artists, painters, wood crafters, jewelry just amazing variation of artworart.
What was the time again? 4 to 6?
It'll be 4 to 7.
4 to 7.
Yeah, on October 6th.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll see you there. And then in November, I'll be part of the Printmakers Art Show in the Ocean County Artists Guild, where the Print Club will display their works of lino cut, white line prints, and mono prints, so a variation of different types of prints that you can make.
And where will that specifically be? Where is the Artists Guild?
The Artists Guild is out in Island Heights. It's on 22 Chestnut Ave in Island Heights. We're also running a raffle through there, a 50-50 raffle. Anybody who's interested in buying a raffle to support the Ocean County Artists Guild can contact me on Facebook to buy a ticket for the raffle. The raffle will be pulled in December 3rd. Okay.
Very good. And Facebook is Kat Tobin Art.
Correct.
All one word.
Kat Tobin and then art is separate
Okay.
to find me. If you just type in Kat Tobin, you'll find it. And that's also on Instagram as well. And then there's also going to be another mural coming up in Toms River to honor the 250th anniversary for Toms River coming up soon. So more information on that, and you can follow me on Facebook to see that information unfold.
Very good. So this is the time of the morning where we pull out the Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin magic wand. We sprinkle the studio with fairy dust, and we hand the magic wand over to you that if you could change your sector, your business, the world, your daughter's grades, anything. Now, I'm sure your daughter's had great grades.
She has.
And anything you wanted to bring in or change, you have the wand in your hand. Kat, what are you going to do with it?
Such amazing power. I personally would like to see a gallery or studio space in town for local artists to help make art more accessible to the public, for on display or for sale. Everybody needs art in their houses. I'd rather you buy local. And also to have programs to encourage aspiring artists, and even maybe to go over into the field that I want to go into, which is therapy. Art has a lot of healing qualities to it, and if we could get some programs going where people could just participate in different art activities, I think it'd be healthy for our community to be involved in arts that way.
That's great. Yeah, and again, I think you started leading into it before when we were talking, where art used to be very much a part of everybody's life. I mean, when I grew up, we actually had an art room and an art teacher, and then I believe it went to art on a cart.
Correct.
And I'm not even sure how much art there is in school these days.
There's not much, and it's not, unless you show a specific skill, it's not encouraged.
It's not encouraged.
Which is a shame, because even if you can only draw stick figures, there's a lot of benefits you can get just from the meditation part of it. You can just relax and throw some colors on some paper. It doesn't have to be structured.
So if I use highlighters, I can sell that?
Absolutely.
I got to start working on that.
You could use anything. You could do it with sticks, rocks, anything you can find, you can make art from. It
is amazing, because sometimes I do go to some art shows sometimes, and I'll look around and I'll be like, wow, I never thought of that. And,
exactly.
You could have easily done that, or somebody's selling something that you may have seen somewhere else, and you're like, how did they do that?
Right.
And they just go,
talk to them. They talk
right.
to
everyone is.
Artists usually are very open about sharing what they do and how they came to what they're doing.
I agree with that. They're always very open and honest and very willing to help and assist. And and they always, I think every artist I've ever met when I say that I have no artistic ability. They're like, you do, you just haven't found it deep inside you yet.
Right.
You know, I just know it's very deep inside me, and it just has not come to the forefront yet.
Well, let's get this gallery and studio space going, and we'll get it out of you.
I think that'll be the way to do it. That'll definitely be the way to do it. And it is interesting. I think a lot of people don't realize the importance of art in their lives.
Right.
You know, you go to a restaurant and you sit down, you're eating dinner, and you always look around, and art's all around you.
It's in everything.
Yeah.
It's in everything.
Even, you know, like you go to a religious institution, you have stained glass windows. That's art.
One of the first, you know, versions of
Right.
art in daily lives was stained glass and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is amazing. But I think we have seen a change, and I think we see a little more art in downtown Toms River.
It's great.
And Ocean County, but we're still a long way to go.
We do. We have a long way to go.
I know I've read a lot lately about wanting to bring more of an artist community into downtown Toms River,
Right.
and how to change that to get people here promoting the arts.
Right.
And I think the Jane Linda Grunin Foundation is one that has brought that to the forefront. But you need a lot more help. You need a lot more people who are on board.
Right. They've done amazing work with the artist community in the last few years, definitely. And I think with their help and the help of the different organizations, Toms River Artist Community and Ocean County Artist Guild, we're close. We're close to get. We need a place to land, to really focus, be able to focus that energy and have a location for people to come to.
Right.
You know.
So give us all the information one more time, because we want to make sure our listeners know how they're going to buy all of your art today to clear out your living room,
Okay.
so that you can start over again and get prepared for your next show.
Okay.
So how are we finding you?
So I'm Kat Tobin Art on Instagram. I'm Kat Tobin Art also in Facebook. And then come out to the art stroll on October 6th and meet me personally and get my business card.
So October 6th from 4 to 7, right in downtown Toms River on Main Street in Washington.
Correct.
And that is open for everybody. There's no
Everybody.
charge.
No charge.
Come down, grab an ice cream, and walk and stroll the arts.
Buy some art. Yep.
Now, Kat, thank you very much for joining us this
Thank you for
morning.
having me.
Very glad you can be here. We'll be back in a moment.